This project is for Michelin. We've been asked to make a large 1.2 Michelin man, which I've carved in polystyrene to begin with. From there, we've really cleaned up the surface of the Michelin from a plaster mould, and now we're actually making a silicon mould here for the finished production run. You can see here we've got the toggles and the side walls that we're creating the mould for, and then the fiberglass jacket actually goes on top of the silicon mould. That's the underside of the Michelin. So we actually make it in two halves. With the legs we treat exactly the same. We get a beautiful finish. First of all we put primers on just to see where we are, and then we actually finish up in a black furane resin, which is like a very fine resin, which is on the arm here, you can see, and it gives us every little detail of it to make sure we've taken all the little nicks and dimples out of the cast itself. We've decided to make it in two halves because it's easier to lay up the two separates and then join them together through the middle section. And also we have to get some metal work up through the legs as well. And here we have the interior of the mould.
It's all piled up. So there's the base for the Michelin man. He stands in the centre just about there and he leans forward. And there's a roadway coming up and Michelin gets risen along the front. That's a pattern just made out of hardboard. You take a mould of that, polish up and take a mould and produce it in fiberglass. There's half a Mich. And down here we've got some more Michis all set up. This one's finished, it's got this pole coming out the bottom. Be careful with him because his shot is so easy. Paint. There he is, and he looks alright on his stand in the end. And in the eyes we'll get transfers so all we have to do is stick them in so they're exactly the same way every time. And I don't know what they might paint in the mouth or not, I don't know. The mouth you can't really see very much, but I've put little cheeks so they get little shadows coming through. And basically along the seam line, the halfway line, we put paper rope on the top half and bottom half, and we do a sandwich join, and then we do our best to, hence the instructions by Colin, we do a sandwich join and we do our best to hide the line. On this one we give it 3 coats of vinyl silk, but in future we're going to give it a coat of undercoat, like self-etching primer, and then which I think is slightly pink. And I'm going to give it perhaps a couple of coats of emulsion glaze on top. Alright, thank you very much lads.
Here we are making some smaller Michelins. We produced them in clay first. We're making 3 or 4 different models. Once we have the clay, then we take a simple plaster mould and then we get out a fiberglass cast. Once we get out the fiberglass cast, then we clean it up to a really high class finish. And then we make a production mould from silicon rubber. We actually went on to make a run of about 200 in a 2-part plastic, so they were nice and light and strong. Really enjoyed the work. Once again, thank you very much indeed, Michelin.